180 Bravo Bravo, good afternoon to you. Report your altitude.
2,000 feet on 1014, Bravo Bravo.
Bravo Bravo.
Hello YouTube, Wycliffe Barrett here. Today I'm going to come back to the Toliss A319. This is First Impressions Part 2. And the reason why I'm doing a Part 2 is because in Part 1 I mentioned a couple of things which I said were quirky but down to user error. I have found out that definitely user error. It was all my fault, and so I've got an opportunity to put things right here, and I always appreciate that. And that's the power of YouTube. Gives me the chance to come back and say, well, this is what should be going on. So here I am. I'm on the ground at Edinburgh Airport. I say on the ground, I'm on the runway. Engines are running, which is okay. It doesn't really matter that the engines are running for me to explain what it is that I want to explain. So I was talking about, let's see, there was a couple of things. I said I couldn't see the runway center line when I approached the airport area. And I've been informed that in actual fact, you don't see that in an Airbus. You do not see center lines in an Airbus. So maybe we've been spoiled with Boeing aircraft. Who knows? And I guess the only time that you see a center line in an Airbus is when you change your navigation display to the approach page. So that would be when you see your center line. So I've got that sorted out. I've been assured by Torsten, the developer of the A319, that Airbus do not show center lines as you approach on the navigation display. So you have to change to approach mode on that page on your navigation display, and then you get the deviation indicators coming on. Okay, so that's that one cleared up. The other thing that I was talking about was block fuel, and that I found it difficult to get the block fuel into the init B page on the MCDU. Well, once again, this was my lack of knowledge and experience coming to the fore, and in actual fact, when we are dealing with the init B page, there are a couple of things that we need to know. Let me show you here. And because of how I've got my screen set up, and I've got an ultra wide screen, we're missing half of the MCDU. Let me just pull it over a bit. Here we are. So it's quite straightforward. That when you're on the ground on the stand and you're running on APU or batteries, you will get to the init B page, and then you need to put in the values for your zero fuel weight center of gravity and your zero fuel weight. Now you have to put these values in, and you can find the values on the interactive screen that that is provided as well for the Toliss, the plugin. I'll show you that now in a moment. So let me be clear, when you're on the ground and you're running APU or battery, you can get to the init B page. But if your engines are running, you can't get to the init B page, and you won't be able to get to the init B page ever again throughout your whole flight. And that is accurate. That is the accuracy of the MCDU in the Toliss. So here we go. We open up the interactive simulation control system, and we need to go to aircraft configuration, I believe. Yes, there we are. Now, down here, about 2/3 of the way down, you will see the values there for zero fuel weight CG, and on the other side, zero fuel weight. You have to input those values into your init B page, okay? You have to input those values into your init B page. And once you've done that, you're good to go. If, on the other hand, you've already started your engines, okay, you've started your engines without putting that data in, the aircraft will then input that data automatically into the init B page. You won't be able to go to the init B page because your engines are running, but all that data will be transferred. So to be very clear about that, if you're on the ground and you're running on APU or battery, okay, you can go to the init B page and you can input that data yourself. If your engines are running, the data will be inputted automatically for you, and you will not be able to go to the init B page again. Even if you put the data in yourself, once you start your engines, you will not be able to go to the init B page, and that is completely accurate to Airbus FCOM. Okay, Torsten, the developer, he reached out to me after he saw my first impressions video and answered a few questions that I had, and I'm really grateful that he did, because that gives me this opportunity to come back to you and say, this is the way it is, guys. Okay. There is one other thing whilst we're on the interactive simulation control system, and this is to do with the Adaroo. Okay, now I said that the Adaroo could be instantly aligned, and I had that slightly wrong. Well, it can be instantly aligned, but it's the way that you do it. So I thought that all you have to do is press on the button that says align into Adaroo instantly. Now that isn't correct, and so you can press on that button as much as you want and it's not going to align. What you have to do is you have to start the alignment process. Okay, you have to start the alignment process and then you can get it. Alright, so just by clicking on Adaroo Align there, as you can see, nothing's happening, and what you have to do, as I say, you have to start the process. So what I shall do, we'll go to the Adaroos. Let me just move this over a little bit so we can see what's going on everywhere. I keep forgetting that the resolution of my screen is not compatible with the resolution that I record in. Okay, so we'll go to the Adaroos, which is on the overhead panel, and we start the process. So that means that you have to click them to align. We're already on the runway aligned, but let's just go up there and have a look. Let's move stuff out of the way so we can see what we're looking at. Here we go. So they're already aligned. So what I'll do is I'll turn these off. Let's just move stuff so we can see. Here we go. So we'll turn them off. Right. So that's one off. That's two off. That's three off, and you'll see the GPS primary lost. Okay, so what we do now is we start them. 1, 2, 3. We start them. Click align IRS. They're still now the IRS is aligning. The Adaroos are aligning, which takes something like, I think it's somewhere between 7 and 10 minutes altogether. Okay, so right, here we go. We go to the interactive screen, and you'll see that it says Adaroo Quick Align is in like a turquoise, a light turquoise there. Click on that. Here we go. Boom. And now the Adaroos are fully aligned. So, you know, rather than waiting the usual 10 minutes, you can get on and do that straight away. Okay, so let's go back down here, and yes, everything's aligned nicely. Everything's done. Out of the way, which is exactly what we need. So, a couple of things there that I thought in the previous video, I said, oh, this is quirky, end user fault. Definitely end user fault. My fault entirely. So whilst we've got the aircraft open, I'd like to just mention something else. There's been a few posts on the YouTube channel about the colour of the cockpit and proportional representation, and a couple of people have said it, you know, it doesn't look anything like a cockpit. As I say, I've got a ultra high def widescreen monitor. I've got a 29-inch widescreen monitor, and because of recording restrictions, the way that things look maybe when I record it might not be the way that it looks on your computer. In fact, there's a good chance that how my screen looks, how my monitor looks, will look nothing like yours. And when I'm flying, it isn't a problem, no problem whatsoever. So there may have been a little bit of stretching proportionally within the cockpit, but let's just have a look here. Now, the other thing that's been mentioned is the colour. Okay, now it's an Airbus. An Airbus are blue cockpits, and as you can see, as I go through the times of day, it changes shades of blue. Maybe not enough. It's almost like a grey there, but you know, there is this kind of regulatory blue. Airbus cockpits are blue. What more can I say? There'll be constant arguments about that forever and more. Now, some of the other questions were about, statements were about, oh, the size of the knobs are not right. I have never been in a real Airbus cockpit. I've been in lots of Boeing airplane cockpits, but I've never been in Airbus cockpits. Not that I'm aware of. I've taken lots of photographs of Boeing cockpits. when I've been going away on holidays. I've always managed to allow the captain to let me take photographs before I sit down. So what I'll do, the next time I'm on an Airbus, I will take pictures and try to determine whether the knobs and buttons and what have you are small, large, or what. For me, it's an Airbus. Okay, I don't know whether the knobs are too small or too big, but it is an Airbus. It looks like an Airbus, it sounds like an Airbus, and it flies like an Airbus. I always go by the diktat that if it walks like a duck, if it quacks like a duck, then it's probably a duck. And this, I can apply that to this aircraft. Is it a flight factor A320 beta? No, but it is an Airbus, and it's got systems depth, and it looks very good, and it flies beautifully. It's an A319, so it's quite surprisingly light. Even when you've got a lot of passengers, it feels light. So, you know, that's the beauty of X-Plane and the X-Plane physics rendering system. Blade element theory, etc. It's lovely. I like it. It's a beautiful little aircraft, and now that I've got those couple of things out of the way in terms of block fuel and Adaru and a couple of other things, I'm perfectly happy with it. And I don't know what the price point is. We're not quite sure what the price point is. It's going to be released soon. I haven't got a date, but it will be out soon. So, you know, you pays your money and you takes your choice. I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday who was going to buy the FS Labs for P3D, and he couldn't press the button because after he'd gone to PayPal, etc., it added a lot of tax and he just couldn't press the button. I'm just messing around here with X camera and sorting out a couple of views, and anyway, there we go. It's the Toliss First Impressions Part 2 video where I sort out a couple of things and rectify a few mistakes, pilot errors. Definitely pilot errors, not aircraft errors. Hope you enjoyed the video. As always, my name is Wycliffe Barrett. This is X-Plane Dedicated, and we'll see you soon. Cheerio.